Dealers are begging riders to buy. Across the country, floor models that once disappeared in weeks are now sitting for months. A 2022 Challenger marked down almost $8,000. A row of M109Rs priced below half their original MSRP, and Harleys collecting dust under sale tags. This isn't a slump, it's a full-blown market correction. For decades, the cruiser world was untouchable. American torque, chrome pride, and the sound of freedom that sold itself. Now, the buyers who built that legacy are retiring, the new crowd is chasing tech and speed, and the old icons are losing their shine on the showroom floor. Today, we're breaking down 14 bikes that were once legends, and now they're cheaper than ever. You'll see the real numbers, the reasons behind the collapse, and which of these machines are still worth saving while prices keep falling. Because for riders like us, this isn't just about money, it's about what's happening to the soul of motorcycling itself. Number 14. Victory Cross Country. It is the kind of bagger that still looks ready for 1,000 honest miles, even as the market forgets what it can do. The cross-country rides with a planted calm older backs appreciate, settling into highway rhythm with little drama, keeping bars steady over expansion joints, and holding a confident line when trucks push air across your lane and the floorboards leave room to move your feet on long days. Wind stays tame behind the fairing, saddlebags swallow real luggage without fuss, and the torquey curve sits low where you cruise, giving quiet roll-on power for passing without downshifts or theatrics on grades and long two-lane climbs, and even at interstate speed, mirrors stay clear and the engine feels unstrained. Parts support remains solid through established suppliers, routine maintenance is straightforward for garage hands, and the ownership community shares proven fixes. So a careful buyer gets miles, not mysteries, from a platform built to work rather than posture. And that reliability rhythm builds confidence for cross-country loops without babysitting. Beneath its long sculpted frame beats a powerhouse built for endurance, not applause. Horsepower is 92. Engine size is 1,731 cubic centimeters. Torque is 109 pound-feet. The next bike on this list proves that dramatic styling and tall gearing mean little when day-to-day comfort falls short. Number 13. Yamaha Raider. It is the kind of long, low cruiser that once stopped traffic at every light, a stretch of chrome and muscle built for riders who like their bikes loud in stance but smooth in motion. The Raider's V-twin feels unhurried yet powerful, pulling from idle with a calm surge that never needs drama to make its point. The stretched rake gives it that custom attitude straight from the factory, and the long wheelbase keeps it steady on the open road. Its design captures a time when cruisers looked hand-built and unapologetic, when every curve of the tank and fender spoke of individual pride rather than committee styling. For many older riders, it was a reminder of the chopper dreams that filled garages decades ago, only this time backed by reliability that could actually take a man across state lines. Yet modern riders began chasing lighter, leaner machines, and the Raider's bulk and lack of electronic aids slowly moved it from showroom centerpiece to collector's corner. Still, its presence remains timeless, a salute to an era of chrome confidence and raw steel honesty. Beneath its bold stance and stretched tank lies a heart that growls with authority. Horsepower is 91. Engine size is 1,854 cubic centimeters. Torque is 123 pound-feet. Braking system is dual front and single rear discs without an anti-lock braking system. Suspension setup is a telescopic front fork paired with a hidden rear monoshock. Wet weight is 730 pounds. Seat height is 27.4 inches. Starting price is $14,990. The next bike on this list shows how touring strength and balance power can still struggle when the market changes faster than the riders do. Before we roll into the next part of this list, hit that like button if you still believe real bikes should hold real value. Drop a comment below. What's the most underrated or overhyped motorcycle you've seen lately? Number 12. Kawasaki Vulcan 1700 Vaquero. It carries the stance and spirit of a true long-haul machine dressed in broad fairings and saddlebags that promise miles of steady travel without flash or fuss. This is the kind of cruiser that speaks softly but moves with strength, built for riders who prefer function over fame and a smooth glide over a loud boast. The Vaquero's engine is calm at highway pace, delivering the kind of torque that keeps you in top gear through rolling hills without breaking stride. The fairing blocks wind cleanly, and the saddle stays comfortable deep into the day. It's a heavy bike, but that weight pays off with stability that older riders appreciate when crosswinds rise or when a loaded trunk adds pressure to the back end. Its layout feels simple and solid, the kind of setup you can service in your own garage without a computer screen telling you what to do. The electronics stay minimal, the handling honest, and the motor delivers its push like a handshake. Steady, firm, and familiar. Horsepower is 73. Engine size is 1,700 cubic centimeters. Torque is 107 pound-feet. The next bike on this list shows that raw power alone can't hold ground when design tries to outshine long-term dependability. Prices are falling. Don't overpay. My gears and accessories deals are in the description. Number 11. Suzuki Boulevard M109R. It stands as one of the last pure muscle cruisers from Japan, a machine built for riders who wanted brutal acceleration wrapped in polished steel. The look is unmistakable, long, low, and unapologetically wide. This bike was never meant to blend in. It was designed to dominate any boulevard it touched, and for a while it did exactly that. The Boulevard's massive rear tire still looks menacing, a statement of power that few bikes can match. Twist the throttle, and the pull feels endless, delivering that deep, old-school shove that brings back memories of carbureted giants from decades past. The design might feel heavy by modern standards, but that heft carries stability, the kind that keeps a bike planted through rough asphalt or heavy crosswinds. It is the kind of machine that speaks to riders who measure joy not in quick corners, but in the steady surge of torque under open sky. Every line of its frame hints at aggression, but the real story lives beneath the chrome. Horsepower is 125. Engine size is 1,783 cubic centimeters. Torque is 118 pound-feet. Braking system is dual front and single rear discs without an anti-lock braking system. Suspension setup is an inverted front fork paired with a rear monoshock. Wet weight is 764 pounds. Seat height is 27.8 inches. Starting price is $15,199. While lighter bikes have taken the spotlight, the Boulevard remains a monument to mechanical strength and timeless design. The next bike on this list shows how old-world craftsmanship and weight can sometimes clash with the expectations of a changing market. Number 10. BMW R18. It arrived as a modern salute to the earliest days of motorcycling, carrying a shape that looked straight out of the post-war era yet powered by the largest boxer engine ever built for the street. The design speaks to craftsmanship and tradition, combining steel, chrome, and restraint in a world that often forgets subtlety. This is a motorcycle meant for riders who still appreciate feel over flash and metal over plastic. The R18 carries its size with surprising poise, gliding smoothly once rolling, its wide cylinders framing the view from the saddle like a pair of steel lungs. The engine pulses with a slow rhythm that feels alive but not aggressive, reminding older riders of a time when character mattered more than comfort screens. It is deliberate, mechanical, and built for those who like to hear and feel every moving part doing its work. Its ride is steady on long roads, the balance pure and predictable, and the attention to detail shows in every weld and curve. The weight can challenge city maneuvering, but once out on open pavement, it feels planted and confident. Power meets precision in a way that feels both familiar and fearsome. Horsepower is 91. Engine size is 1,802 cubic centimeters. Torque is 116 pound-feet. Braking system is dual front and single rear discs with an anti-lock braking system. Suspension setup is a telescopic front fork paired with a cantilever rear shock. Wet weight is 761 pounds. Seat height is 27.2 inches. Starting price is $17,495. The next bike on this list shows how a smaller, younger Spirit can struggle to impress riders who measure a machine by miles, not marketing. Number 9. Indian Scout Bobber. It brought a touch of rebellion back to modern cruising, a stripped-down middleweight that looked like it rolled straight out of a backyard workshop. With its low stance, chopped fenders, and dark finish, the Scout Bobber aimed to capture the old-school spirit of speed and simplicity, built for riders who valued torque in their hands and wind on their chest more than comfort on a long highway. The Bobber's engine feels eager, breathing freely through every gear, its power band steady and willing from idle to redline. It's a motorcycle that begs to move, punching forward with minimal vibration and a sound that blends modern precision with the deep pulse of a classic twin. For around-town runs and weekend blasts, it delivers pure satisfaction. Nothing unnecessary, nothing wasted. But its low seat and short travel suspension turn longer rides into a test of endurance, reminding older riders why ergonomics matter once the miles start stacking. Still, for those who love mechanical honesty and clean design, the Bobber holds a certain charm, a bridge between the raw bikes of the past and the digital age of today. It carries a stripped-down attitude that hides a surprising punch beneath its low stance. Horsepower is 100. Engine size is 1,133 cubic centimeters. Torque is 72 pound-feet. Braking system is single front and single rear discs with an anti-lock braking system. Suspension setup is a telescopic front fork paired with twin rear shocks. Wet weight is 553 pounds. Seat height is 25.6 inches. Starting price is $10,749. The next bike on this list proves that lighter weight and sharp handling can still struggle to win loyalty among riders who favor endurance over flash. Number 8. Harley-Davidson Nightster was meant to be Harley's answer to modern midsize performance, a lighter machine carrying the old Sportster spirit into a new era. Stripped, compact, and built around a liquid-cooled engine, the Nightster tried to merge tradition with technology, aiming for younger riders while holding on to the shadow of classic Harley identity. On the road, the Nightster feels agile and alert, flicking between lanes with a precision that older air-cooled models never had. The engine revs smoothly and pulls clean through every gear, delivering a refined surge rather than the rough growl of the older 8s and 12s. It is faster, cleaner, and technically better in every measurable way. But for many longtime riders, that improvement came at a cost. The familiar pulse of a true Harley twin is gone, replaced by efficiency and electronics. It feels more like a modern motorcycle and less like an heirloom. Still, it earns respect for keeping the Harley badge alive in a category many thought the company had abandoned, offering a gateway for a new generation of riders to join the fold. It looks minimal on the surface, but every inch of it is built for raw connection between rider and road. Horsepower is 100. Engine size is 1,133 cubic centimeters. Torque is 72 pound-feet. The next bike on this list reveals what happens when power and pride meet the weight of touring tradition in a shifting market. Number 7. Harley-Davidson Sportster S. It arrived with big expectations, carrying one of the oldest names in motorcycling into a future that few traditionalists recognized. The Sportster S was Harley's attempt to rebuild a legend from the ground up, a smaller, sharper machine powered by modern engineering instead of raw heritage. It was bold, fast, and unlike any Sportster before it, but that transformation came with a divide between riders who wanted evolution and those who missed the past. The Sportster S feels like a stripped missile on two wheels. It launches with a smooth, immediate rush of torque and holds a stable line through turns that older Harleys could only dream about. The new engine hums instead of rumbles, and the chassis feels tight, almost impatient, pushing the rider to test its limits. Yet for all its brilliance, the bike's short travel suspension and aggressive ergonomics leave many seasoned riders cold. It is quick, but not easy. Stylish, but not simple. A machine built for a new generation, but one that left its roots behind. Every twist of the throttle feels like a challenge issued to the pavement itself. Horsepower is 121. Engine size is 1,252 cubic centimeters. Torque is 94 pound-feet. The next bike on this list reminds us that true touring comfort still depends on balance, patience, and the timeless rhythm of the open road. If you're the kind of rider who still values truth over hype, make sure you subscribe. Every week, we expose the real stories behind the market shifts that affect your garage, your wallet, and the legacy you ride for. Number 6. Indian FTR 1200. It began as a tribute to flat track heritage, a machine born from the dirt but refined for the street. The FTR 1200 was built to prove that American muscle could still dance through corners, combining raw power with athletic control. It carried attitude in every curve of its tank and frame, daring riders to rediscover performance without abandoning pride. The FTR feels alive the moment you twist the throttle. The engine snaps with precision, the exhaust growls with a purpose, and the chassis holds tight lines that surprise anyone used to long, lazy cruisers. It is a different kind of American power, more sport than show, more rider than rider image. Yet that same focus is what makes it divisive. The upright stance and tall seat height demand attention and balance, and the smaller tank keeps range limited for long tours. For seasoned riders who grew up on low-slung V-twins, it can feel foreign, even restless. But for those willing to meet it halfway, it rewards with unmatched precision and control. Built with a racer's heart and a street fighter's posture, this machine doesn't ask for attention. It earns it. Horsepower is 120. Engine size is 1,200 cubic centimeters. Torque is 85 pound-feet. The next bike on this list proves that heritage alone can't carry a heavyweight when riders start measuring every dollar against every mile. Number 5. Indian Challenger. It stepped into the ring as the modern heavyweight that dared to face Milwaukee head-on. The Challenger was built with one clear purpose: to prove that comfort, technology, and brute power could live together under the same fairing. It is the touring machine for riders who want to cross states, not just cities, and it carries itself with confidence born from engineering, not nostalgia. The Challenger's engine feels muscular yet controlled, sending a deep, steady pulse through the bars without shaking them loose. Its liquid-cooled design keeps temperatures down on long rides, a comfort older riders appreciate during summer miles. The frame-mounted fairing cuts through crosswinds better than most baggers, and the electronic suite keeps everything balanced whether you are carving mountain switchbacks or holding steady on an endless interstate. The ride is firm but never punishing, giving it a blend of authority and grace that few bikes achieve. For riders who grew up on older V-twins, the Challenger can feel almost too smooth, missing that raw edge of the old days, but it delivers performance that earns respect mile after mile. It looks like a heavyweight bruiser, but every detail was engineered for refined domination. Horsepower is 122. Engine size is 1,768 cubic centimeters. Torque is 128 pound-feet. The next bike on this list proves that even Harley's grandest tourers must now fight for the loyalty of riders who once swore they would never ride anything else. Number 4. Honda Goldwing. It remains the benchmark for long-distance touring, the machine that turned cross-country travel into an art form. The Goldwing has carried generations of riders across every kind of American road, from desert stretches to mountain passes, without complaint. Its reputation was built on reliability, comfort, and engineering precision, traits that earned it a loyal following among riders who value time in the saddle more than time in the garage. The Goldwing glides down highways with a balance that few touring bikes can match. The flat-six engine runs almost silent, yet it carries more torque than most V-twins twice its size. Riders can cruise all day without fatigue, helped by ergonomic seating, excellent wind protection, and a gearbox that shifts smoother than any big tourer has a right to. It is less about flash and more about trust. A bike that simply works year after year. For older riders who measure value in miles traveled, not promises made, the Goldwing remains an engineering masterpiece that has nothing left to prove. It rides with the confidence of a grand tourer, yet handles with the precision of a sport machine. Horsepower is 126. Engine size is 1,833 cubic centimeters. Torque is 125 pound-feet. Braking system is dual front and single rear discs with an anti-lock braking system and electronic brake distribution. Suspension setup is a double wishbone front system paired with a single rear shock featuring electronic preload adjustment. Wet weight is 807 pounds. Seat height is 29.3 inches. Starting price is $24,700. The next bike on this list carries a similar purpose, but wears its heritage on its sleeve, built to stir loyalty before logic every single time. Number 3. Triumph Rocket 3. It remains one of the most intimidating motorcycles ever built, a road-eating machine that turns torque into thunder. The Rocket 3 was never meant to blend in, it was built to dominate, to remind riders that sometimes excess is the point. Its presence alone commands space, its proportions closer to muscle car than motorcycle, and every part of it feels engineered to push limits that few bikes even approach. The Rocket 3's acceleration borders on surreal. Twist the throttle and it feels like the horizon is coming toward you instead of the other way around. Yet despite that massive power, it remains surprisingly composed. Smooth through corners, predictable in braking, and comfortable enough for riders who prefer control over chaos. The wide stance and low seat keep it grounded, while the triple-cylinder engine delivers an even surge that never stumbles. It's a mechanical statement of pride, one that rewards experience and confidence more than impulse. For older riders who have seen every kind of powertrain come and go, the Rocket 3 represents something rare: performance with maturity, muscle without waste. It is less a motorcycle and more a force of nature, built to bend the horizon with sheer muscle. Horsepower is 165. Engine size is 2,458 cubic centimeters. Torque is 163 pound-feet. Braking system is dual front and single rear discs with an anti-lock braking system. Suspension setup is an inverted front fork paired with a rear monoshock featuring adjustable compression and rebound. Wet weight is 721 pounds. Seat height is 30.4 inches. Starting price is $24,995. The next bike on this list carries that same spirit of mastery, but wraps it in the timeless language of American touring power and pride. Number 2. Ducati Diavel 1260. It is the muscle cruiser that rewrote the rulebook on performance, a machine that blends Italian precision with raw, unmistakable aggression. The Diavel 1260 doesn't just ride, it attacks, carrying the silhouette of a cruiser, but the soul of a superbike. It's a statement bike for riders who still crave torque but demand technology, a creation that refuses to be tamed by tradition. The Diavel feels alive the moment you breathe on the throttle, snapping forward with an urgency that leaves most cruisers staring at its taillight. The power delivery is smooth but relentless, and the cornering grip feels more sport bike than boulevard machine. The wide bars and low seat invite confidence, while the electronics quietly manage every ounce of that force beneath you. It is not the bike for lazy afternoons. It demands focus, respect, and a steady hand. Yet when everything lines up, few rides on Earth feel as complete. For veteran riders, it is proof that strength and sophistication can share the same frame, where heritage meets horsepower in perfect equilibrium. It looks like a cruiser, but beneath that sculpted frame beats the heart of a street predator. Horsepower is 162. Engine size is 1,260 cubic centimeters. Torque is 95 pound-feet. Braking system is dual front and single rear discs with an anti-lock braking system. Suspension setup is a fully adjustable inverted front fork paired with a single rear monoshock. Wet weight is 520 pounds. Seat height is 29.7 inches. Starting price is $22,995. The next and final bike on this list defines what American riders still call freedom: steel, torque, and legacy wrapped in one unmistakable silhouette. Number 1. Harley-Davidson V-Rod Muscle. It was the last of its kind, a motorcycle born from rebellion inside the very factory that defined American tradition. The V-Rod Muscle stood as Harley's boldest gamble, blending Milwaukee steel with Porsche engineering. It was muscular, mechanical, and unapologetically modern, a machine that didn't whisper heritage but shouted evolution. For riders who loved torque and hated compromise, it became a legend that ended too soon. The muscle feels alive under throttle, smooth, immediate, and brutally linear. Its liquid-cooled Revolution engine revs freely, pulling hard from idle to redline without the usual rumble and shake. Every twist of the wrist feels engineered, every mile earned. It's a bike that rewards confidence and punishes hesitation, made for riders who see the open road as a proving ground, not a pastime. While purists resisted its modern character, those who rode it understood what Harley had built: a bridge between heritage and horsepower, between nostalgia and progress. It growls with old-school American attitude, but moves with modern precision and balance. Horsepower is 122. Engine size is 1,249 cubic centimeters. Torque is 86 pound-feet. Braking system is dual front and single rear discs with an anti-lock braking system. Suspension setup is an inverted front fork paired with twin rear shocks. Wet weight is 673 pounds. Seat height is 26.7 inches. Starting price is $16,499. Today, the muscle stands as both triumph and tragedy, proof that Harley once dared to challenge its own tradition. And though production ended, its presence still lingers in the minds of riders who remember when the company built a bike that truly looked and felt like the future. The road keeps changing, but real riders never fade. If you still believe motorcycles should be built with heart, not hype, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe, like the video, and drop a comment below. Which brand's goodbye hit you hardest? Ride safe, ride proud, and I'll see you in the next one.